primary venture is purpose-inspired marketing, which provides web design and marketing consulting services for businesses and entrepreneurs. Outside of business, he loves to travel, read, snowboard, play tennis, and explore new activities. One day he'll also give us a speech on time management, because I don't know how you can do all of these things with a busy schedule. Today he's going to talk about the importance of building your personal brand and how this applies to every single person in this room on a very practical level. His speech is speech number 3 from the manual Competent Communication. The objective is get to the point, and his title is Why You Should Build Your Personal Brand. Please help me welcome Dmitry.
So I'm really nervous today because this is probably the least prepared and most excited that I've ever been for a speech, because what I'm talking about today I don't really have to prepare for. I've never spoken in front of an audience about this, but like one-on-one, maybe like 100, 150 times, probably more, to individuals. And hopefully by the end of today, every single person in this room will understand the value and importance of building your personal brand online. Not just building your personal brand and defining who you are, but building your personal brand online. Now, before I get started, I want to take a little pulse of the room. How many of you have ever heard anything about building your personal brand online? Show of hands. Cool. That's like 2 people. Awesome. So, fresh audience. How many of you have ever heard about building, or the terminology personal branding at all? Awesome. That's pretty much everybody. So, the idea of building your personal brand or defining your personal brand, even before we get to the online stage, is all about figuring out who you are, what you're passionate about, what your authentic center, who your authentic self is, and figuring out how much of that you want to share with the world. And the online part comes in because we live in 2011, almost 2012, and we have incredible tools and technologies that allow us to communicate any message to virtually any person in the world or any amount of people in the world with the click of a button that costs no money. So unlike in the 70s when somebody wanted to get famous or build their personal brands or a company brand, they had to jump on TV or radio. Right now we can do that instantly within the click of a button. So now that I've defined what a personal brand is, a little bit about the online part, I want to tell you guys some of the reasons why it's really important for every single person in here to build a personal brand online. Firstly, your jobs and your careers. So having a personal brand allows you to have a lot more job security in an uncertain economy. How many of you people in here, by show of hands, have had some experience that might have shown you that not all jobs last forever? Great, that's about half of you. So for the other people in this room, not all jobs last forever. And that's not always a negative thing. Sometimes it might be a negative because you get laid off or fired or a company gets downsized, but other times you have to, or you want to move somewhere, you want to shift careers, you get excited about something new. Well, every time you do that, you're almost starting over. You have your resume, and that's the extent of your personal brand that you're sharing with a new employer. But if you have, let's say, a yourname.com, I have a dmitrikozlov.com. So in addition to sharing my resume with somebody, I could go to a potential employer and I'd say, Google me. And they'll go through 4 pages of maybe articles or silly videos like this one, which is going to be up on YouTube, or they'll be able to look through my Facebook, read things that other people have written about me. So a prospective employer or business partner, or maybe anybody that wants to Google me, will know all of these different things about me that I've chosen to share with the world, which will make me a lot more likely when I'm sitting down in that interview or whatever that situation might be to get accepted by that person a lot quicker, versus if I'm going in with a fresh start and they know nothing about me because they couldn't find anything about me online. In addition to your career and job security and the ability to even shift careers if you really wanted to, if you wrote about something that you're passionate about and build a brand around something that you're passionate about, you can actually use that as something that can shift your career into something that you love doing. So if you write about, let's say you want to start a blog and write, it's your personal name and so on and so forth, but you're writing about cats because you love cats. and you write all about cats and you post up videos of kittens and you write the best cat foods and so on and so forth, what that'll do is when you get into the pet industry and you decide, okay, I don't want to work at an office building anymore, I want to work at Petco, or I want to become a veterinarian or something along those lines. In addition to the career steps that you have to do to get there, you'll also have a personal brand within that industry that'll make it a lot easier for you to get in with the leaders of that industry and establish your position or job there. Additionally, having that personal blog set up, let's keep using the example about cats, can allow you to develop an additional stream of income. So let's say you're writing about cats, you're writing about, okay, this is the best kind of cat food, and you've got hundreds of readers that are looking at your blog because you've been doing this for maybe a year or so, and they're reading all your recommendations about cat food. You can put on some Amazon affiliate links or affiliate links to, let's say, Petco or something along those lines to that cat food. You make a recommendation, people purchase, and all of a sudden you could be making a couple extra $100 a month or even a couple extra $1,000 a month. And eventually, here's the next reason, you can build your brand and your personal online center to the point where you literally can replace your full-time income by doing that. And that's something that I was able to do. I started like halfway through college, and by the time I graduated college, I had a full-time income online doing what I'm passionate about, which I'm passionate about what I'm talking about right now, social media and branding, on a full-time basis from home, and you get to work. This is pretty much the most formal I ever dress. And you get to work from home in your underwear, your PJs, or whatever you're most comfortable in. So that's a really exciting reason for why you should build your personal brand. There are a ton of other reasons, but the main one is that it's a lot of fun. Because once you find what you're passionate about and you share that with the world and you do it on a daily basis and you start making money doing it and you start establishing your career in that industry, or you start securing your job because an employer can see that you have all of these connections, that you have some value in the marketplace, you start doing all of this stuff. So not only is it really fun, but it's good for your future. Some of the objections that I've heard to building a personal brand online are, okay, I don't have the time, I don't have the money. Those are obvious excuses that people use for everything. It doesn't cost any money, it's free. Maybe you buy a domain, it's like $12. Hosting is maybe $10. It's like the price of lunch. Time, guess what? If you don't have the time, maybe 30 minutes to an hour a day to start building your personal brand, make the time, because that shouldn't be an excuse, because this is going to be a necessity for building a really successful career in the coming years. And if you don't do it, make sure that you, at the very least, if you have kids, have your kids do it. Buy their domains in advance, because it's going to become more and more important in the coming decade. Another excuse that I've heard is, okay, lack of know-how, lack of technical know-how. I don't know how to build a blog. I don't know how to do this. Hire a high school kid for like $8 an hour. Most of them know how to build blogs, and they'll be able to help you out, and you'll be doing something good for the community. And then the other excuse, the biggest one that I've heard, is lack of privacy. Guess what? It's almost 2012. Privacy is pretty much old news. A lot of people that weren't on Facebook 2 years ago because they said that's the dumbest thing in the world, and I could probably do a show of hands in this room. I'll avoid that to embarrass anyone, to not embarrass anybody. But privacy is old news. Most people who weren't going to be on Facebook are on Facebook now. Most people who weren't going to share what they had for breakfast a couple of years ago are sharing everything about their lives now on Facebook, and it's going to keep going in that direction. And that's going to be the expectation and the norm rather than the exception in the next year or so. Finally, I've run out of time. I realize that the red card's up. So if you have any questions at all about building your personal brand online, about how to do any of it, call me or email me. And I don't have to give out my phone number or email address, because you can just look up the Toastmasters roster, Google my name, and you'll be able to find me easily and read any of my articles on this stuff, or contact me directly if you have any questions. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you have to come here more often, Dmitry.
I do. I'll learn how to time myself better.